Minecraft.
Preston, you got something right with? Okay, good job.
Funny. Do you know what's funny?
Okay, we're going to get started here.
Do you know what's funny?
Fast. What's funny?
Oh, my whiteboard came with one of the off-brand markers. So if I got Expo, this thing would have been gone. But since my regular Expos are the same brand, I kept it. If I had Expos, this thing would be out.
Right. Okay, here we go. So in our work today, in our assignment today, it is combining rounding and tape. I just went blank on what they're called. Not tape measures, where the tape diagrams. It's combining rounding and tape diagrams together. So I know that it's been a while since we did tape diagrams, so that's what we're going to practice today as well. Okay, Adrian.
Combined rounding and tape
diagrams for if you have to do a vertical addition problem.
So I'm going to show you what
put the two numbers together, and then you'll have the same answer. So it ends up tape diagram pointless.
Well, I'll show you what today why they're not pointless. Okay. So okay. I'm going to switch it over to my whiteboard so you can see this. Ooh, I'm just gonna have to turn my camera a little bit. It says the school had 1,587 students in the 3rd grade. It had 217 more students in the 4th grade. If the school bought water bottles for all the students, would rounding to the nearest 100 be enough? Okay. So this is where a tape diagram comes in handy, because for 3rd grade, we know that there's 1,587 students, right? And so that would be our first box. But because it says 217 more for 4th grade, that means that we have to start out with the same amount that 3rd grade had, plus add the 217 more. So that's where a tape diagram comes in handy, because you can see visually that we're not just saying there's 217 kids in the 4th grade. We actually have to add those two together. Okay, so before we can even find out how many students there were in all, we have to find out how many students were just in the 4th grade alone. Okay, so I want everybody, and you know, Mrs. Shade has told you, I don't add across very well. I have to write it out. So I want you to write it out and add it together. Show me on your board when you have the answer, okay? Preston, don't forget to don't forget to add in that one that you carried up. You carried it up, but you forgot to add it in. Good. Constance, you carried an extra one up. Because when you do 5 plus 2 plus 1, that doesn't have a tens place that gets carried up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Oops, scoot over just there. Oh, now don't forget your thousands place, Constance. Now you forgot it. Adriana, when you do the 8 plus 1 plus 1, remember that's 10, so don't forget to carry yours up. Jadion, good job. Good job, Constance. Good job, Alex.
Okay.
Okay, so Preston, I want you to spin around where you can see it, okay? Spin the board around where you can see it. See where you have the 8 plus 1 plus 1 in the tens column, Preston? Good job, Adriana. Do you see where you went wrong now? Okay, good job. Wyatt, when you get a chance, show me your board, babe. Good job, Adrian. now Preston, think about it. What is 8 plus 1? 9 plus 1 more is 10. So in the 10, that 0 is the part that needs to go down. Okay, Alex.
Can you can you do you know what this number is that I just put down below?
Well, it's either 263 or 223. I'm not sure which. Good job, Preston. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add up on mine so you can see what we get. So 7 plus 7 is 14, so I'm going to put the 4 down, carry the 1 up. 8 plus 1 is 9, plus 1 more is 10, so I'm going to put the 0 down and carry the 1 up. 5 plus 1 is 6. 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 1 plus nothing is 1. So my total for the 4th grade came to be 1,804, okay? So I can then put that over here. I can say 1,804. Whoops, it would help if I put the 0 in. Sorry about that. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm ready to find out what the total number of students is in the entire 3rd and 4th grade. So now I have to give myself some space, and I have to go 1,587 in 3rd grade, 1,804 is in the 4th grade. Add those up. So now I want you to add those up and show me your board when you have that answer. Once you get done, show me your board. That way I'll know if you need help or not. Good job, Adrian. Good job, Preston.
You're getting the hang of reading stuff backwards. You see it and then you go, good job, blah, blah, blah.
Well, you have, just like anything, you got to train your brain.
Yep. Before you're like,
Alex, don't forget to, you've really messed me up, Alex. Your hundreds place is incorrect, Alex. Add those 2 numbers again. Jadion, get a little bit closer. Good job, you got it. Hold it up a little bit, Adriana. I can't see the answer at the bottom. Good job. Constance, down just a little bit, babe. Down, good job. Okay, you got it.
I figured out a trick if you want to make the fancy 9. That's an upside down 6.
Yep, you're right.
Can I go my Lisa?
Yes, go for it.
When you want to make a fancy 9, you just make a 6 and then flip it over.
You go like this. Right?
Oh, I make a 6 and then just flip the board over.
JD and Wyatt, show me your answers when you get done, okay?
It works just the same.
I already put in my answer. You already said I did yours.
Sorry, Jadion. Good job, Alex. Okay, Preston.
Maybe I did one of the answers.
Preston, don't forget your
backwards.
hundreds and thousands place.
This type of addition is probably one of my favorite subjects in math.
Why did you have your hundreds place incorrect? You added too much.
This type of addition is probably my favorite math subject.
Good job. Okay, Alex.
Me too. So you see this one? This one looks completely correct.
Yep.
From my angle, it's 1 PEE.
Yep. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to add mine up, and you see if you got the same thing as me. 7 plus 4, so 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Put the 1 down, carry the 1 up. 8 plus 1 is 9.
I did it.
8 plus 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Carry the 1 up. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. So 3,391. So that's how many students are all together in the building, right? So I'm going to put that up here, 3,391. I'm going to erase my problem down here. Now, what it said was if they were wanting to buy water bottles for all students and they rounded it to the nearest 100, would it be enough? So what we have to do is we have to take our 3rd grade number and round it. So if we're rounding it to the hundreds place, we're rounding it to year, right? And if I'm using the rounding wrap, I would say I need to look next door. And if my next door neighbor is 0 to 4, the underlined spot stays the same. If it's 5 to 9, I have to add 1 to the underlined spot. So am I keeping it the same or am I adding 1? What do you think? If the next door neighbor is 0 to 4, we don't do anything. If it's 5 to 9, whoops, not 5 plus 9. If it's 5 to 9, we add 1. So am I adding 1 or am I keeping it the same?
Adding 1.
Adding 1, right? Because our next door neighbor is an 8. So that means we have to add 1 to this. So my rounding number for 3rd grade would be, and remember everything to the left stays the same. So 15 plus 1 is 16. Everything to the right changes to zeros. Okay. Now, if you were doing the vertical number line, it's the same thing. You would just say, well, if you're going down, that'd be 1,500. If you're going up, you would add 1, and that would be 1,600. And then you have to say, well, which one is 1587 closest to, 1,500 or 1,600? And it's closer to 1,600. Okay. So I'm going to erase my vertical number line here so I have a little more space. Okay. So here, my 3rd grade group got rounded up to 1,600. I have to look at for the 4th grade group. The 4th grade group is at 1,804 right now. So the hundreds place is here. If I look next door, is that 0 to 4 or 5 to 9?
5 to 9.
9.
This one right here, our next door neighbor is 5 to 9?
0
Yeah.
to 4.
My number here is 0, Adrian.
Oh, I
Remember,
thought
we're always looking next door at our next door neighbor.
Oh, I got confused.
That's okay.
I got confused.
So is our next door neighbor 0 to 4 or 5 to 9?
0 to 4.
0 to 4. So that means we're not changing our underlying place value, okay? Everything to the left stays the same. So that means we would go 8 or 18 and then 1, 2 spots with zeros, okay? Same thing if we were doing our vertical number line. If we were doing the vertical number line for this one, we would go like this and we would say, here's our spot. Everything to the left stays the same. So 18, we count our zeros, 1, 2. We would round this up to 19, put our 2 zeros in, and we would say, is 1,804 closer to 1,800 or closer to 1,900?
1,800.
1,800, right, because it's only 4 more, right? So we now know that our rounding for 3rd grade is 1,600. We know our rounding for 4th grade is 1,800. Give myself some more space. Feel like I'm not running around. Okay, so then I'm going to add those two together. So 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. 8 plus 6 is 14. Carry my 1. 1, 2, 3. So my estimate is 3,400. Does that get me close to my actual number of 3,391? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Yeah, it gets me close. If I was buying 3,400 water bottles for 3,391 students, would I have enough water bottles? Yes or no? Everybody shake me a head or give me a thumbs up, something. Good job. Yes, it would definitely be enough. But because this is a word problem, we have to answer in words. So we would say, Rounding to the nearest 100 would get you 3,400 water bottles, which is enough for 3,391 students. Okay? Anytime there is a word problem, you have to give a word answer. Okay? Don't forget to give a word answer or a word answer when you have a word problem. All righty? Okay. So our time is up. If you have questions and need extra help, I want you to stay on. If not, I will see you at read aloud time. Okay? Stay on if you have questions. Adrian, what's your question, baby?
Yeah, what was it? Oh yeah. So I still don't understand like the tape diagram and what it's useful for.
Okay, so because it's just more than anything a visual representation so you don't forget to do what you need to do. So like here, a lot of kids might have seen, whoops, I just dropped my marker. A lot of kids might see 1,587 in the word problem, and they might have seen 217 in the word problem and just automatically thought, oh, I'm supposed to add 1,587 plus 217 and then been done. But the tape diagram makes you actually say, oh, nope, it's saying 217 more. So I know that I have to find this answer first before moving on. That's the whole reason behind the tape diagram, is just so you can visually see that you're having to add that on more. If you're like, oh, I can do that without drawing that out, I'm good with it, okay?
Good, because I can do it without drawing it, so I'm like, this is a waste of time.
Right, and most of the things that we do when we're starting to practice, honestly, is a waste of time, okay? But the reason we do that is so we know how to do it correctly in our brain before we start to get to the point that we can do it in our brain, okay? Because
Yeah.
when you first started adding, you probably added up on your fingers, right?
Yes,
Nowadays-
I did that a lot.
Right, but nowadays, do you count on your fingers still?
Nope.
Right, because it's a waste of time, right? But when we're first starting out,
Mhm.
it's helpful. And so if the tape diagram is
Yeah.
going to help you, I want you to do it. If you're like, nope,
Yeah,
get past that point, be past that point, okay?
With
That's
rounding,
Right.
rounding in third grade, they made us draw a number line. So, but even though my head is just like 50.
Right, but that's because we know as teachers that kids need those steps until they've got it. And once you've got it, do what you know how to do. That's why I always tell you guys, if one way works better for you than the other, do the way that works, right? Because
It
your
works a
brain
lot.
might be past the point that of the other one that I'm giving you, okay? And that's
Yeah.
okay. Some people aren't there.
With
and
all my rounding practice, I've actually just I literally just see like 47 round to the nearest 1050.
yeah, see, because now you've got it. And so your brain doesn't need all those extra steps. But until your brain has it, you need those extra steps, okay?
Okay.
Constance.
I need
Practicing addition since like second
I
grade.
need help
That
on
addition, yes.
ST Math and Prodigy. Me and my mom tried to do this